farm system, big pharma, special interests, government subsidies. Why can I spend 99 cents to, eat a hamburger, but I can't spend $140 to get my diabetes medication? Okay? Why is broccoli so scary? I had an oncologist say to me, broccoli? That's dangerous. Really? Kind of taking out my organs is dangerous, buddy. Right? That is more dangerous. But actually, when I thought about it years later, broccoli is dangerous. Because broccoli is so powerful, and if we embrace it more, we have the ability to vote with our forks instead of digging our graves with them. And I mean that because I am in the seat and I am telling you what. I look around, because I can't take a baseline. Like, I'll tell you about my diagnosis and whatnot, but there's a lot of things that I had to do to wake up. And part of the waking up is looking around you and saying, what are my friends, what are my average citizens, what are they facing, okay? So every minute somebody dies of heart disease. Every minute. 1,500 people die per day of cancer. That's the equivalent of one trade tower falling each and every day. Diabetes is on the rise. Obesity is at a 70%, being overweight and obesity, 70%. 33% are children. Autism, and depending on the numbers you look at, 1 in 90, 1 in 70 on the rise. ADHD, allergies, respiratory problems with our children. Many researchers believe that this will be the first generation that actually dies before their parents. And I don't know about you, but that's an epidemic, and I'm not on my watch. Can you feel that? Do you want to join that revolution? Not on my watch? Hello? That's why Twitter is so fantastic, and Facebook is so fantastic. It's a way for us to communicate at such a global level. We can topple governments with Twitter. We can change plates with Twitter. And it just means that each and every one of us needs to participate and become those foot soldiers. So my wake-up call came in 2003 on Valentine's Day. And I wrote in my journal, Happy Valentine's Day, you have cancer. And I was 31 years old, and I was told that it is incurable, that it is so rare that it affects less than 200 people per year, and that there are no treatments, so no chemo, no radiation, no surgery, no cure. The first doctor that I went to suggested a triple organ transplant. So my disease is stage 4, which means it's the final stage, fully metastasized, and the tumors are in both of my lungs and my liver. So this fabulous chap suggested that we yank them out, put somebody else's in. Now, I didn't know much at the time, but I thought that was a really stupid effing idea. So I decided not to become his patient. I went to another hospital, which is one of the big guys, one of the top 10 cancer factories. And I was given 10 years to live after waiting 3 hours, and I was abruptly rushed out of the room. And I remember going to the elevator, and it was very fitting. My parents were behind me, and I don't know, how many of you try to hold your tears in and you make that weird face? Like, oh, I'm gonna cry, you're not gonna see me cry. So I was making that face, my parents were standing behind me because I thought, my life is going down. I was pushing that down button and we were in the elevator, I didn't know where to go, what to do. And I said, you know what? No. If I'm gonna make it through this, I need to become the CEO of Save My Ass Technologies, Inc. CEO, but I decided I had to learn. And the doctors would work for me. I would hire, I would fire. I was the lady boss. Felt really good, actually. Really tough. So I traveled all around the country looking for the smartest doctor that I could find that knew the most about my disease, and I found him at Harvard, and he said something miraculous. He said, this cancer that you have presents in 2 ways. Sometimes it can be very aggressive, and sometimes it can be slow-moving. Maybe you have the slow-moving kind, which could change at any point, but maybe for now it's the slow-moving kind. We don't know. So here's the radical treatment idea, Kris. Watch and wait. What? I thought he was high, and I was wondering if I could have a little bit of his stash. Some good shit. Watch and wait? What are you talking about? Watch and wait? Wait for what? Wait, learn to live with cancer? Wow, learn to live with cancer, but wait a minute. This is really odd because I don't even know how to really live without it. I don't know how to take care of myself. I don't know what to eat. I don't know how to manage stress. I don't know what to stay away from. I like alcohol and recreational substances, right? I wasn't a smoker because I didn't buy a pack, but boy did I bum them. But I wasn't a smoker because I didn't purchase them myself, right? How many of you have been there? How many of you are there now? This is the don't look. So I thought I have a lot to learn because I want to get busy living. And I want to learn how to live like I mean it and suck and squeeze every ounce of juice out of this life. So where did I go? Whole Foods. Whole paycheck. But you know what? It was a great investment. Because think about it. We reallocate the funds. I can stock my medicine cabinet full of drugs. I can eat all this crappy food, or I can invest in the cellular integrity of my body. It was an awesome investment, so that whole paycheck, that was a good place to put my money. But when I first got to Whole Foods, it was so foreign to me. Before cancer, BC, I was living in New York. I was an actress and a photographer. I was really a cocktail waitress and a bartender. Although, like Jean, I did a lot of television commercials. I did many, many commercials, and some of those commercials were for Budweiser Super Bowl commercials, Lysol, and of course, Taco Bell. And we were talking about this at a wonderful dinner last night, that I was the girl for the Big Gordita commercial. And I had to eat so many tacos and so much taco meat because they actually had a spit bucket by the camera in between takes. And you know what? That was fine with me because at the time I was all about fast food, fast men, and fast life. All right? So I was coming from below the standard American diet. And certainly the industry that I was in was very much about appearance and weight and, you know, being skinny for your job. So I ate fast food, fake food, you know, anything that I could, like Jean, I could nuke, I could just eat on the go, and never a vegetable. Vegetables were like, I eat vegetables because I eat French fries and ketchup. That is my vegetable intake. So when I got to Whole Foods that day, I realized I have so far to go. I don't know how to do this, but I'm going to start slowly. And I started by getting books and getting vegetables. And at the time, really, like, if it came in a box or a bag, that's what I ate. And I thought that everything had a shelf life. Like Twinkies, right? When there's a Holocaust, if there is or ever is a nuclear Holocaust, which we all hope there isn't, it'll be Twinkies and roaches that make it, okay? The aliens would come down and say, look at this society. What were they believing in, right? But I thought that everything had a shelf life. So I remember having my basket and I was bawling, I have cancer, what am I gonna do? Eat vegetables. And I was going through the aisles, loading all of the vegetables in, thinking I would just get a huge amount that would last me for the month, maybe 2. Just stock up now because my parents were there, so they were paying, right? And I remember the first time I saw kale, which I love kale now, but the first time I saw kale, I thought, what is this weed? What is that thing? And it was like, I often say that, and this was really happened, I heard that spaghetti western music, like, and that kale stared me down, and I stared back, and I thought, it's either the cancer or this weed that's gonna kill me, I'm not sure. But I'm going for it. And slowly but surely, I started to teach myself about plants and whole foods and veganism. And again, at the time, I didn't make the connection yet that comes in this story. But first and foremost, I just thought, I need to research the best diets and lifestyles for longevity. Longevity, that was my goal. How can I live a long time with this thing? How can I redefine wellness to include somebody like me? Because there are a lot of me's walking around. And unfortunately, more and more, there are a lot of sick people walking around on this planet. You know, health isn't the absence of disease, it's the presence of vitality, of life force. And plants have life force. And dead animals have death force. And I thought, I can't put that into my body. So overnight, I quit smoking and I went vegan. And it was like, boom, right? How many of you had that experience with you get so excited and high because you feel so good in the beginning, right? That's what happened for me too. And so as I went about researching this, I also started to make my film, Crazy Sexy Cancer. And a lot of people ask me, what does crazy sexy cancer mean? So here's the definition. Crazy is out of the box, forward thinking. It's that kind of speak that you hear when somebody says, oh, that's crazy. That'll never happen. Really? Watch us. Watch us. That's crazy. Watch us. Sexy is empowered. It's really living in every ounce of your being and in your skin. And cancer was and is and may always be my teacher, my measure. And that measure will tell me, what are you gonna eat today, girl? How are you gonna treat yourself? How much stress can you really handle? What do you need to say yes to? What do you need to say no to? What kind of boundaries do you need to make in your life so that you can continue feeling that life force? So Crazy Sexy Cancer started to take this on this life of its own. In the beginning, it was a way for me to channel my fear into creativity because I really didn't know how this story was going to end. And I thought, this is my background. I'm an actor, I'm a photographer, I'm a filmmaker. This is how I can separate myself from this experience a little bit. Now, what I didn't prepare myself for was the army of people that felt the same way I felt. And so it took me 4 years to make this film, and my husband is here with me, and he is the editor of the film. And after 4 years, we didn't kill each other, so we got married, right? And when I sold the film to TLC in 2007, everyone said, you know, there's no way a film about cancer with the words crazy and sexy are going to get on national television. And I said, oh really? You think that's crazy? What do you think I said next? Watch me. Watch me. And then I got so passionate about this thing, I also said, you know what, I have this journal entry that said, Oprah, save a seat for me because I'm coming. And I was really scared actually the day the phone rang. And it was like, yeah, you're going on Oprah. Ah! I didn't mean that one. Damn. But from cancer to life, from cancer to crazy, sexy life, it happened for many different reasons because the night the film aired, thousands of people emailed us, and many of those people didn't have cancer. I have crazy, sexy heart disease. I have crazy, sexy diabetes. I have crazy, sexy bad marriage. Right? I hate my job. I hate my mother-in-law. Oh my God, everything's going wrong, and I really like the way you're eating, drinking, and thinking, and how that's changing your life, and I want a piece of that. How do I do it? So we created crazysexylife.com to help, and there's so many wonderful bloggers there. Jean is one of our bloggers, which we're very lucky to have. And every day we put out a new article on health, spiritual wealth, and happiness, which is my umbrella. If it doesn't fit under that, it's not a part of my Crazy Sexy Nation. And what also started to shift was people started to become very interested in prevention. And as a cancer thriver who spends her whole life in the world of cancer, working with cancer patients, working with sick people, working with wonderful, wonderful people. Sick people are some of the most alive people you'll ever meet because they've touched it. And now they're willing to live it, right? But then this miraculous shift happened where so many folks started to come to me because they were like, I don't want to get sick. What do I do? Eat plants. I want to feel better. What do I do? Eat plants. I don't want to have the big C, which is, so you like, is that okay? Yes, sweetheart, eat plants. Eat plants. And that's when I wrote Crazy Sexy Diet. And it was, I took everything that I learned about this lifestyle and through my journey and wrote it for people interested in staying well. And as I said in the beginning, we all come to this for different reasons, but at the end,